everyone, Hooked on Concrete here with another concrete project. This is what we are going to build today. This little concrete church, with stained glass windows. Before we start, please note that a material list is included in the description in case you would like to build this little church. Let's get started. To begin our project, we map out the size of the building. We make 2 squares the same size. This will be our front and back. We then take our cornerstone blocks and build a door and window. We use an octagon block for the top stone in both the window and the door. These were both cast from a mold. Once the door and window are built, we will cut a piece of 1/2 inch foam to fit in it. This will prevent concrete from filling it up and will leave a nice little indentation where the door and windows are. We just hot glue the foam, then build the door around it. We do the same for the window. Now we will put the cross on the building. The cross was cast using Lego blocks. We just built it the size we wanted, 1 Lego tall. The back side of the cross has the little holes from the blocks. This will be nice for the concrete to grab onto. We took a foam cutter and cut out our cross in the bottom foam. We then took 1/2 inch foam and filled it in so it would stick out in the front. Now we block in our building with 3/4 inch foam. This foam is 1½ inches wide, which seems to work well for blocking in. We attach the foam with quilting pins. We decided the cross would look good on the front and back of the building, so we cut out the cross on the back and blocked it in as we did the front. Now, we lay our cornerstones. These stones were cast earlier in the week. I will link above to our block casting video. We lay the cornerstones one up and one down. You can use the hot glue gun to hold them together. We do the same to the back of the church. Now it is time to put in the pebbles. The object here is to cover all the foam with pebbles. Be sure to put them in between the cornerstones as well. We do both the front and back so we can pour at the same time. Now, we go on to the pouring. We are using fast concrete for this pour. Since we are using the fast concrete, we have to be careful to set up everything before we mix the concrete. We only have 10 to 15 minutes to pour, so we need to make sure everything is ready. We want to mix this a little on the runny side, so our concrete will go down and grab all the pebbles. Now we cover the door with concrete. On the back we set it up for our stained glass window. We will show the process for making the windows later in this video. It has been about an hour now, and it is time to flip over our pour. If we had used regular concrete, we would need to wait overnight before we could do this. However, we like to use the fast concrete as we can keep working as the concrete sets up fast. We still need to be careful, as the concrete is still green. You must do clean up in the green stage, otherwise you will have a hard time removing the concrete. Finding that perfect time to clean up will come with experience. I generally like to clean up as soon as I flip it over. The longer you wait, the harder it will be to do. I use a putty knife and wire brush for most of the cleaning. The object here is to remove the concrete from the face of the pebbles, leaving the concrete that is in between to hold the pebbles in place. Since we are having see-through windows, we need to be sure all the concrete is removed from inside the window frame. There may be some areas that the concrete missed. This is not a problem, just mix up some vinyl patcher cement and smooth it in with a silicone spatula. Once it dries a little, you can remove the excess with a large brush. Our dog brush works well for this. Now, we will build our windows. We use our cornerstones as well as our octagon stones. On the first windows, we super glued each tile. This left a lot of glue on the tiles that was hard to get off. On the next one we took tape and put it sticky side up and just stuck them on the tape. This worked much better and was much cleaner. Now we set up the side of our building. We like to use foam as spacers as it is a quick way to line everything up. We hot glue our windows so they do not move. We decide to cut some glass to cover the windows. We need something to hold the windows in place, so we are cutting 2 pieces of glass. We will make a glass sandwich. We bought the glass cutter on Amazon and it worked pretty well. It did not always break exactly, but it was close enough for our purpose. I then wrapped the edges with fiber reinforced tape. I did not want the edges exposed as I was afraid I would cut myself. This will work out nice. The light shines through and it looks good. This looks like it will work out well. The light shines through it very nice. I position the glass where I want it. I also cut out a piece of 1/2 inch foam. This will cover our window to keep the concrete off it. Then we go all the way around and concrete the edge of the glass in place. Now, we get ready to pour the side. We use a speed square to make sure it is straight. We took a piece of wood and screwed the speed square in place. We will use a block and a bar clamp to hold it. After what happened with our last house, we did not want to take a chance. Blocking in on the sides is a little easier, as you only have two sides to worry about. Now we do the same as the front, we fill it with pebbles. We also put a little wire in for extra support. We made this a little soupy, as we wanted to have it grab all the pebbles. We use a sawzall without the blade to vibrate the table to help the concrete to get in all the cracks. We put our windows in, then cover with foam and pour the concrete around to hold the windows. Our pour is done and our concrete is getting hard. We want to turn it over, but must be careful as this is the time when the concrete is at its weakest. One false move and we will have a repair job on our hands or the pour may be ruined. We slide a putty knife under the building to release the glue and carefully pull it up. Victory, we made it. Now the clean up. We must be careful not to put too much pressure on the building at this stage. We take off the foam on the top of our windows, but leave the backside until the next day as we did not want to pry too much. Now we build the other wall, using the same process. I take some glass out of some picture frames to build the windows. Now we remove the foam from inside the house. I feel good that we have made it past the most fragile part of the build. I use a pick to get some of the concrete off the stones, then we put vinyl patcher cement where the concrete was missing. We are now building a template for the roof. It is a good idea to make a template, as your house may be a little out of square. Making a template, you will be able to make sure everything will fit right. Then we build our mold around our template. To give the roof texture, we use an entrance mat that has ridges. We wrap it with pallet wrap so it will not soak up the water from the concrete. We will pour one side of our roof, let it harden a little, then flip it over to pour the other side. We take a couple of pieces of hardware cloth and bend them like an L. This will give our roof a little more support. We mix up the concrete and vibrate it in with a sawzall. If your concrete ends up being too soupy, you can add some dry concrete to soak it up. Once it hardens a while, we can flip it up and do the other side. We must be careful as it is fragile while in the green stage. We make a little wooden jig to hold it in place. We use these little clamps. We pour this side as we did the other. We add some fiberglass concrete fibers, to give our roof extra strength. You only need a pinch, as it goes a long way. We do build it up a little in the middle for extra strength. Be sure to only do it in the middle and not go too far on the ends, otherwise your roof will not fit flush. Once hard, we can remove it from the mold. Now we can attach our roof to our building. I made a jig to hold our roof while we attach it. It is made sort of like a manger. Basically it is set up so the speed square will fit flush. Since the speed square is the same angle as our roof, it will hold our roof while we attach it. I leave the entrance mat to remove at a later time. I test fit and then lay a bead of mortar. The mortar I use is type S. We go all the way around the roof, on the outside, making a nice eave in the process. On the inside I use my hands to fill in all the cracks around the roof. Now we make a rustic little door. I take a concrete drill and drill a hole in the door and put a cotter pin in it. We will then take a piece of aluminium wire and make a door handle. Here is what our finished door looks like. Now, I groove the roof to give it more detail. I use a small hasp for this. Now, it is just a matter of cleaning everything up, and our church is finished. I will be setting up a solar light in it, so it will light up all night. Well, this is the end of our church building video. I hope you enjoyed this project. Once again, thanks for watching.